it's gonna be cutscene after. Well, it's not gonna be like instantly after cutscene, but it's gonna be nothing but cutscenes from here on out, I believe.
Oh boy.
Yep. Buckle up.
Buckle up. Oh no. I'm looking around a little bit in the instance first, just because, you know, screenshots and whatever.
Oh yeah, I love that zone. It looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
Especially with G-Shade on. Oh my god.
And especially now that we can turn off the exits in G-Post.
Mm-hmm.
God. Alright, what did the science have to say anyway? Our efforts may have helped Ornvald and Fertile escape. Ehrenwald, rather. Got anything to say, Alize? Well, Thinker says, hopefully Tiamat's wounds are not too severe. Alize! Ah, is that the last we've seen of Bahamut? Nope. Our allies have steered well. Yeah, nothing too terribly interesting from them. Alright. Yeet myself out of here. And cutscene time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hey, more Heavensward music. Imagine that.
Yeah, I love that music so much.
Oh, it's a voice cutscene. Children of man, the shade of my beloved is no more, and I shall be forever in your debt. By your deeds are we set free, and free we shall remain, as long as I draw breath. Never again shall the dragons of Mericidia hearken to the lies of the Asians. This I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
You would make peace with Ul'Dathan. We would be proud to call you our allies. Then let us put the past behind us. We would be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Sometime earlier inside the Paglethon Tower. Yeah, I was waiting for that. Ew, the wall is breathing.
What did I just turn myself into?
Oh, it squishes when they turn.
I undeafen, and all I hear was just heavy breathing from you.
No, it said the wall is breathing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still in a voiced cutscene.
Yeah.
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Oh, Ehrenwald.
Get back!
You had one job.
No! What have I done?
He got way too antsy.
It's too late for them.
Mm-hmm.
We're leaving, now!
Well, I did ask for body horror, didn't I?
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
Uh-oh. Oh, Estinian, you and your swag lean. I should have known you'd be the one to end it. Mayhap now Tiamat will find some measure of solace. The wrong kind of solace. To see the Amalja fighting alongside us brought to mind the zone of the Crystarium. I pray that our peoples can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts here in the First. From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be many Imperials in the vicinity of the tower. Hopefully, Ardenwald will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Yeah, about that.
Talking to the Scions.
Yeah. Tiamat did all she promised and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. Probably going back to Marasidia. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all of the bad blood between men and Amalja. But one has to start somewhere. Though the day is won, thanks in no small part to thy valor, the Telophoroi are far from defeated. Yet be that as it may, 'tis only right that we rejoice in Lunar Bahamut's banishment unto the ether. Yeah, about that, I don't know. While it would be too much to hope that we have seen the last of Van Daniel, we have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. I doubt that. And celebrate I will, when we have received word of Ardenwald's safe return. Yeah, about that! Optimistic to the last. When the dust settles. Alphino is minded to share his account of the events that unfolded in Paglethon with the Sultana.
Words are hard.
Yeah, they are.
Just like Soldier.
Mm-hmm. God, it's not voiced. Okay. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions. Wow, she was fast. Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the frontistery. Your grace, whatever is the matter. As our troops withdrew from Paglethon, they came upon the 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend I believe, had been wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. That was interesting. Alphino was kind of like shaking there. I haven't seen them do that before in a cutscene.
Right? I was like, is that a glitch? But it's not.
I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Zoom, off he goes. Can you tell us aught of Arnvald's condition, your grace? The wounded scout. Naught save that it is grave. The chirurgeons tend him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with all the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Nalathor, Estinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Paglethon. Come on then. At least Estinian's lines are super easy. See, that's over. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's over at the Alchemist Guild. Estinian, you lurker. I take it Alphino is fond of Arnvald. Why are you jealous, Estinian? I know how he feels, but hand-wringing isn't going to help anyone. You had better have a word. Instead of standing there gawping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an underfed dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. Please tell me something, anything. Oh, Alphino, you about to get slapped, boy. Another one come to see the lad in silver armor? Master Demelio is attending to him as we speak. If you would be so kind as to wait. What did Master Demelio say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alphino, this isn't helping. But you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arnvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen, but now that it has, all we can do is wait. Exactly. So go wait over in the corner with Estinian.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
That woman, she plays at scorn, but her eyes are filled with sorrow. Sorrow deep enough to drown in. I help. I know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the 7th Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. That's a terrible name for a chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the 3 of you be joining them? We will. The nodding.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission.
Oh boy.
Shh,
Oh god.
cutscene.
Oh yeah, me too.
Voiced cutscene.
Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fan Daniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You need to tell me where they are, Your Grace.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
If there is no reason to linger, I will take my leave. Alphino knows only too well that sacrifices are an unavoidable part of conflict, but knowing something does not change how one feels about it. You yourself have shared adventures with Arnvald, have you not? Then I shall say no more. Amidst this great push for peace with the beast tribes, we would do well to remember that old prejudices yet remain. It is a delicate political dance, and I do not envy the Sultana her task, nor any alliance leader. Yeah, stop calling them beast tribes. They're just tribes now. God. With the secrets of the towers thus laid bare, our duty to prevent further abductions taketh on new import. Fail in this, and our enemy shall punish our negligence with a plague of primals. I mean, y'all speculated how it works. We don't have confirmation or Yanche. Even without the threat of tempering to contend with, the Grand Companies have quite a task on their hands. Regardless of her grace's protestations to the contrary, it may be best to dispatch a few of our own to assist in the endeavor. Remind me to mention it to Tataru, will you? Though we have won our first battle against the Telofroi and made significant discoveries to boot, the war has scarcely begun. We must steel ourselves for what lies ahead. Ay ay ay.
Mood. So, if the Amonja are our allies now, do we call their quest tribe quest now, not beast tribe quest?
Yeah, basically. Alright, on to the next cutscene, and this one I have to read. Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. But I don't wanna!
Pray return to the Rising Stones.
And that includes you, Alphino. Arnvald is in good hands here.
Alright, is the logs closer, or...?
Of course, he would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement then, I shall let Kryle know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Aw, sad cat boy. Yes, I'll try asking him, and thank you. I shall look forward to it. Nan desu ka? Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kryle, in particular, has a few matters she is keen to discuss. One of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not, you will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldessian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Yeah, you're just trying to keep an eye on Alfie. Admit it. Let's get this over with, shall we? To the Rising Stones. Let's see.
I noticed how this patch actually had way more voice cutscenes.
Yeah, it picked a good patch to start recording.
Right? Alright, time to unlock Diamond.
Into the Rising Stones with me, so I assume a bunch more cutscenes now?
And they'll be voiced.
All of them? Oh, wait, it didn't even... Wait, it just gave me a cutscene immediately? Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that one's voiced.
I expect you
So
must
I'll
all
shut
be
up.
exhausted.
Okay.
Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
It is possible the ancient knowledge preserved within their archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Near the end of the Dragon Song War, that day in the Crystarium. That's interesting. Which one did you pick, Alenia? If you're here.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that. I picked the first option because I remember Hydaelyn talking to us in the Crystarium on the first at all.
So when Elidibus gave us the vision of the star shower above the Crystarium, you hear Hydaelyn go, hear, feel, think?
Yeah, but that was to everyone, wasn't it?
Yeah. What was the response when you picked near the end of the Dragon Song War? Do you remember?
Y'shtola agrees.
I'm gonna choose that day in the Crystarium, because I'm curious what that is.
Alright.
When Elidibus sought to make warriors of light, that was the voice which calls constantly to all who might hear it. I spoke of direct communication, when Hydaelyn communed solely with you. A far rarer occurrence.
Oh, she kind of chastises you for that one. She says, when Elidibus sought to make the warriors of light, that was the voice which calls constantly to all who might hear it. I spoke of direct communication, when Hydaelyn communed solely with you, a far rarer occurrence.
Aha, I was right.
Yeah, I wonder what the ... would have done. And onward. Let's see.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
I don't think that's it, Urianger.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I'm able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
Oh, Alfie puppy eyes.
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo. You inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
Don't you know what, me?
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Oh, you fuckers. I want to see the weapon!
Right? The fucking fade to black, seriously.
That was rude. Aww. Well, time to talk to all the scions.
I love Fandango though. Oh my god, his animations are top notch.
Yeah, his VA is great too. Amidst all the fighting, it's easy to forget what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sake. You will tell me if I become insufferably smug, won't you? Because the way things are going, it feels like a definite possibility. You've been there for a while, Alice. If you've need of my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation of the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with the East Aldenard Trading Company of Kugane, yes? I was wondering if they could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find it in these parts. Yeah, I'm sure they can do that for you, Estonian. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. Yeah, no shit. Though we know not the full extent of the Telophoroid's schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telophoroi have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all those towers if that was all they had in store for us. Well, Thancred, you see, if you go to youtube.com, there's this trailer for Involker. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think they would be receptive to Kryle's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately, their reputation would suggest otherwise. That's an understatement. None can deny that Heidelin's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. Foreshadowing. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Ha 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 ha, cute. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say that I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, than you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. And gladly, mind you. It's the least I can do to support scions who risk life and limb, like poor Ardenwald. I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles now, would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. Is it May yet? As of this moment, you are under strict orders to get as much rest as possible. After all, we need our man fighting fit when the Telophoroi rear their ugly heads again. Well, there's one thing for me to check. And that is I need to go to the Crystarium and check the pendants to see if the shoe bill is still there. Let's see. Yep, Shoebill-chan is still here. I'm keeping my eye on you, bird.